You have to stand up to your enemy. Your threats don't faze me. Your intimidation doesn't move me. I know who I am and I know whose I am. You may have a loud roar. You may seem big, but I know me and God are a majority. What He's destined for my life will come to pass. Don't be intimidated by a bully that has no power over you. Ignore the roar. Quit believing the threats, living worried, letting all the negative play in your mind. I know it's loud, but the way you turn it down is by playing what God says about you. When the enemy roars, you'll never get any good breaks. You'll never rise any higher. Father, you said the path of the righteous, my path gets brighter and brighter. Thank you that my greatest victories are still in front of me. Quit living worried about your health, your finances, how you can accomplish that dream. God has not brought you this far to leave you. He's taken care of you in the past. He's going to take care of you in the future. It says the enemy goes about seeking whom he may devour. That means he can't devour everyone. What determines whether or not you can be devoured is what do you do with the roar. If you believe the roar, then you'll be defeated. If you dwell on the lies, live worried, intimidated, afraid, you won't see the promises come to pass. Just because you have faith, you're declaring promises, doesn't mean you're not going to hear lies, threats, thoughts of fear. It's not going to work out. Just give up. It's over. You can't stop the roar, but you can ignore it. When those thoughts of worry come, fear, anxiety, recognize what's happening. It's simply the enemy roaring. That's what he does. You can't stop the roar. You can't pray away the negative thoughts. Get so determined that you're never going to feel fear, not going to allow the threats in. You're going to hear the roar, but you don't have to be intimidated. You don't have to live worried. The roar doesn't mean you're not in faith. Doesn't mean you'll never see the dream. The roar is a sign that what God promised is on the way. The enemy wouldn't be roaring if he didn't sense there were great things in your future. He wouldn't be shouting those threats if he didn't know you were a giant killer. He wouldn't be telling you those lies if healing, freedom, abundance wasn't around the corner. Well, you'll never break the addiction. You've had it too long. Tell the enemy, take my name off your list. You can't defeat me. You can't limit my destiny. You can roar, you can threaten, you can be loud, but that doesn't intimidate me. I know a secret. You're all bark and no bite. I am free. I am whole. I will become who I was created to be. I was in Africa one time visiting my brother Paul, and we went on a safari, saw all these wild animals. The guide was telling us what they had learned about the animals. He said, if you're ever approached by a lion, never to turn your back, but to stand your ground. The instinct will be to turn and run, but lions can run up to 50 miles an hour. He said, if you run, you'll just die tired. What you're saying when the enemy is roaring is very important. If you're speaking defeat, giving life to the negative, you're going to get stuck. You're drawing in what you're saying. I can't believe this happened. I'm so afraid. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't see a way out. Don't get in agreement with the roar. Speak victory in the face of defeat. As this enemy was shouting threats, Hezekiah said to the people, be strong and of good courage, for our God will deliver us. When he could have been complaining, he was prophesying victory. When he could have been panicked, he was declaring God's favor. Verse 21 says, the Lord sent an angel that destroyed the whole Syrian army, all of its commanders and all of its officers.